Is this thing on? Hello and welcome to the Dead Dodge Garage Sunday streaming super boring special. Alex, you beat me here somehow. That's a cool trick. How's it going? There will definitely be shenanigans, probably. Potential shenanigans. It's a cool trick. If you want to just, you want to hop in and run the show, I'll take a night off. Loving life. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, doing good. Kind of a slow, relaxing Sunday today. I worked on some soundtrack music, and I went to a car meet with my daughter in the Charger, which was fun. Other than that, not much going on. Kind of skipped lunch. Hey, everybody. 10 of you out there now, feel free to say hello, ask any questions. Hello, Lovejoy. Avon says, I want you to know I set an alarm because you made fun of me last time. Forgot, spilled cocoa powder all over my floor because it scared the shit out of me. And as you're jumping in, feel free to leave a comment, like Charlie B, who says, Hemi in the Charger. Maybe someday. Unfortunately, that block that Tom had was sold to someone with way more money than me. I guess brand new, never assembled Mopar Performance Hemi blocks are worth something. So I've got my eye out for another one. Alex, I'm sure you'd do fine. You don't see me doing this, but I actually just Google every question that's asked to get the answers. Hey, JMR, how you doing? Lovejoy says car meets are always fun. Yeah, sometimes we have pretty good ones around here. This one was pretty small, mostly Hondas. My friend Mike has an SRT4 swapped 90s neon that just looks like nothing. That's pretty cool. He's still kind of shaking it down, but that's impressive. I told him I just want that whole setup in a Dodge Rampage. That's all I want. It would be great. He also informed me that it would bolt right into a 4-cylinder Dakota. That's kind of cool. Alex liked the quarter midget video. Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Because it's not vintage Mopars, no one really cares. So it really didn't get very many views, which is a bummer. It's super fun. We might end up getting into that. I don't know. Today we went to that meet, and my daughter didn't really want to get out of the car. She's kind of like extremely shy sometimes around strange people. And she just got in the driver's seat and she put her tablet on the center body seat, and she's filming herself driving the Charger. And then she said she was going to drive us home. So yeah, maybe I'll make a cargo out of her yet. Dan, you're here. Glad you're here. Glad you got out of the hospital. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. But glad to have you with us. Alex says, Hellcat Coronet? Maybe? I like where your head's at. But maybe someday. Currently, I am going to start soon on a 392 swap Challenger with a 6-speed. It's a really nice car. That's going to be cool. Not quite a Hellcat, but we're getting there. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Dan, I might need some notes from you on 273s. I know I told you I wanted one. Well, I remember there's a almost perfectly good rebuilt short block in the back room at Rocket. It's just sitting there calling my name. And yeah, I have some ideas. Anyway, I've been entertaining the idea of putting a 273 in the 66 Barracuda. Small inch seems really neat. Screaming RPMs sounds fun. And it's like a correct engine that would have been in there. So I like that idea. Of course, I have a freshly built 360 I just finished to put in it, but that's not the point. The point is, I think I'd like to build a 273. Seems like fun. A challenge, kind of. And I know you know about that sort of thing, so yeah, we might have to compare notes sometimes. Sometime. Lovejoy says an SRT4 Rampage sounds like it's kind of crazy. Oh, yeah. Even says Google Fu is an invaluable skill for any trade. The other day, someone commented in one of the car groups. I can't remember. Oh, it was in the Dodge truck one. And they said, where can I get rocker panels for our trucks? I can't find them anywhere. So I went over to Google and I went 1975 Dodge D100 rocker panel. And I just screenshotted the results and posted them. It's not a skill everyone has, being good at Google. It seems like it would be. Yeah, Dan, she had tons of fun. I don't know if you could tell in the video how annoyed she was that her cousin crashed the pink car. She got to go first because I don't remember why. Anyway, so she went in the pink car, crashed it into that race official, and the rest of the time my daughter was just fuming. But she still drove pretty well, you know? She didn't crash into anything or anyone, so I'm impressed with that. My nephew did really well too. He was the one he did the last runs in that video, and he was like, you know, cutting corners. I mean, it looked pretty good. John Wilburn is here. Hello, John. Welcome to the Dead Dodge Garage Super Boring Sunday Special. Good to have you here. Good evening, Stacy. My sister's here, and she says, "Woo, cars!" Which seems right. My friend Mike Miskey is here, and he says, hey, Jamie, have you made any changes to the wagon? I miss that car. Not really. I've washed it a couple times, and beginning of last summer, it was like running like crap. It wouldn't idle anymore. And so I went through the carb like twice, and it fought me a lot. Then I realized that carb spacer, when we put the engine in for you, when you had it, the carburetor spacer you supplied is the kind you sell over there that's aluminum on the outside, and then it has that phenolic piece in the middle. For some reason, the phenolic piece wasn't there. It was just the outside piece, and it wasn't sealing to the carburetor gaskets at all. So it had a really bad vacuum leak. And I'm pretty sure it had that the whole time. Maybe it just got worse over time, because I don't remember it running that bad. I remember it being like idling a little high and being funky to tune. That's why. So I figured that out finally. I took the spacer out altogether, I think. Maybe I put another one back in. I can't remember. Anyway, figured that out, and then everything was great for like a week, and then it wouldn't idle again. And I opened the carburetor and I cleaned it again, and then it's been perfect ever since. So the tabs expired, you know, it's parked for the winter. I don't think I've done anything else. One of the hinges on the tailgate back door broke, so we can't open that. That's a problem. I need to fix that. I'm still trying to find a good grill and a bumper. Haven't had any luck there. I've almost bought 3 different cars just to get the grill and then, you know, sell what's left. And it's never worked out every time. It hasn't worked out. But yeah, we haven't done anything else major to it. Just kind of tuned it and enjoyed it for the most part. When the weather starts getting nice, I'm sure Mrs. Jamie will start driving it again whenever she can. Sprinkling of shenanigans, definitely. Danberg, I do have a silly question for you. I have a 78 Chevy Monza Spider, and I was thinking about putting a slant 6 in it. What do you think? I think I like where your head's at. You got a welder and a grinder and some steel? Make it happen. And send pictures. Sounds very fun. Allegedly. It was like this whole thing. Aha. Oh, Dan knows Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Under Earth, it simply says mostly harmless. 273s are mostly harmless but fun. Yeah. I think I told you we had a 68 hydraulic cam one. It was in my brother's Duster. And the 904 behind it basically had no second gear. So what you would do is you'd shove it in first and floor it to like 45, 50 maybe, and then bam it right up into third. And that was a lot of fun. That thing screamed. It was a sweet running engine. He drove that thing, 73 Duster, but we made it look like a 72. And he drove it to New York and back with a horrible like radiator disintegrating problem. I'd like tried to solder it together and it just didn't work. So anyway, he overheated that thing to like nuclear proportions, fried a clutch and flywheel. It was this whole thing. And when he got back from that trip, the engine always used oil from that point forward. So, but yeah, even that one, and again, just the later hydraulic cam, nothing special. It was pretty cool. It was fun. So I like the idea. I just, screaming 283 with dual quads. Why not a 273? You sent me that picture and it's got me thinking, I want to put dual quads on something. Why not a 273? The tiniest quads money can buy. It could be fun. Howdy, Rooster. Rooster says, got lots to chat about. Saturday, Bigfoot and Mopar Jeff got together at Mopar Jeff's shop. Also, I brought a gift. What was the gift? Coronet parts? My sister says her precious little germ factories gave her a cold. Classic. So far, I'm okay. Yesterday, Henry, my nephew that lives here, had some horrible stomach stuff going on. And today my daughter was complaining like all day of a horrible stomach ache, but luckily no puking happened. Hopefully that doesn't get to me. I don't want it. Lots of changes to the blown Hemi too. That's exciting. I want to do blown Hemi stuff someday. Lovejoy. So I did swing the 318 Poly into the Cuda's engine bay. And you're right. It doesn't fit very happily. Don't think it would fit with the manifolds installed, and it won't bolt to my trans. Too old. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to fit very well. You'd have to remove, there is some extra sheet metal in there, but you probably don't want to go that way. And yeah, I really think the steering is just going to be a total no-go with fitting exhaust manifolds. It has occurred to me, I found at Rocket a pair of poly manifolds, and some of them are rear dump and some of them are mid dump. And I almost wonder if it's far enough forward and tucked in enough that the mid dump would get out of the steering, but I don't know. And it probably not. Because again, those things really are limited. That steering column's way in. So yeah, you better sell that thing and start saving up for your Magnum. Apparently, the way to stop from getting a cold is raw ginger and local honey daily. I need to find the honey guy again. This one time, as a tip, when I worked at O'Reilly, a guy with a bee collection gave me a jar of honey like this big, and it was amazing. And when we were moving out of our old house, our last house, and maybe I was just cleaning, don't remember. Anyway, I knocked it out of the cabinet and it broke, and I scooped enough out of the disintegrating mass without broken glass in it to fill a mason jar. It's gone now. Lovejoy says, might be able to make it fit with a hammer and a pair of Chinese scissors, but I don't want to hack it up. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, with enough destruction, all things are possible. But yeah, exactly. 904 glide. Yep. It's a big split between ratios there. Yeah, it was goofy, but it was super fun. Yeah, if you wanted to horse around, you just slam it all the way in first, do the stuff. My sister has the worst immune system ever. That's unfortunate. Wisdom Vendor. Hey, Jamie, on the 440 you built, you mentioned that the cam had no retainer to keep it in. The angle and torque of the oil pump drive gear maintains a rearward force on the cam. Maybe the drive gear does too, But there are other engines, the lifter angle pushes them rearward. The lifters, of course, are domed, and the lobes are ground. They're not flat, they're ground like yay. So that forces it rearwards as well. I'm trying to imagine the physical forces between that shaft and the cam right now. Can't picture it, but yeah, maybe it's a contributing factor. But again, I know there are plenty of engines that don't have a retainer, and the angle on the lobe is what shoves them backwards. I can't think of what any of them are right now, but big block Mopar is one. The small block, of course, has a retainer. Alex says, also eucalyptus oil, eucalyptus, and mint are good remedies. Sneezy and cough, lavender, and bergamot teas. Wow, all kinds of good ideas. Yeah. You know what? She might need to just crawl under a rock for a while. Wow. Like Alex says, my girlfriend and I run a mini botanical apothecary. We have tons of honey and herbs. That's amazing. That's really neat. We do not run a botanical apothecary. We have chickens. Rooster says, ooh, the gift to Bigfoot was a magnesium vintage blower housing for his 63 Plymouth build. I picked up a dressed Enderley blower hat and injector base for the Hemi from Jeff. Nice. All kinds of good stuff going on. Lovejoy. I'll just pull a Magnum at the you pull it in Kearney or whatever. I have a strange feeling I can find a Dodge truck that was scrapped for tranny issues to use it as a donor. Or a Durango. But there's more room in Rams. They're a lot more fun to pluck. I can tell you that from experience. Yeah. And like I say, you know, I don't know what the market's like where you're at, but $500 here. Easy. Magnums are still all over. T's Good Times Garage is here and says, good eves, everybody. Good eve to you, my friend. How's it going? What are you up to tonight? All Praise says, I'm making plans for putting a 440 in an Aspen Volare. Yeah, someone was telling me to do that last week. Was that you? Anyone have opinions on which would be the better header for this? Schumacher headers or ones from TTI? I can't tell you on that body style. I know the Schumacher are really good for A body. I don't know on the F. I haven't used either of them. My Demon has TTIs and they're great, but again, on that swap, I can't tell you. I don't know. Wisdom Vendor. When you pre-oil the engine with the drill, you feel the torque I'm talking about. Oh yeah, you feel the drag. That's for damn sure. There's plenty of that. Blake is here. What is up, Blake? Hey, what kind of headers are on your what did you name that dart? Damn it. The pumpkin one. Can't remember. Anyway, how's stuff going? It's going okay over here. It's just water tonight. My sister says, you're not wrong. Crawling under a rock for a while sounds great. Nice, restful coma. We could all use a mini coma. Sounds good. Stacy says, I'll send you some honey. The wife's cousin raises bees out in Newfoundland. You can then tell all your friends that you have honey from Dildo, Newfoundland. Yes! Sounds amazing. I'll have to send you my address. That's fantastic. I've been... Finnegan's videos keep popping up on my YouTube where people just send him stuff, mostly fruitcake or fruitcake flavored Mountain Dew. How do I get people to just send me gifts? It's exciting. Chickens are a gateway drug to having a botanical apothecary. And their poop does make great fertilizer. Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah. There's a chunk of land across the street that's kind of just like a marsh. And I had big ideas of buying that and, you know, planting things. More fruit, probably. We've got fruit trees and stuff. Not enough. Rooster says, I would share pics, But you never called me. God damn it. I'll just email you my number and then you can call me. How about that? Dan says, how's your mind thinking about trimming up the beard? Like you don't have enough to think about. Yeah. I got like sticky stuff in it the other day, and that almost annoyed me enough to the point of getting rid of it. I don't know. People can keep asking me, and eventually I'll just do it. It's getting really ridiculous. I mean, it's so long, and it's just not. Yeah, I don't know. My dad always had a beard, but his looked nicer. What is that? Snacks? I think there are snacks in my beard. I would miss the snacks. T's Good Times Garage is doing all right, just killing some time. Hey, aren't we all? It's Sunday. We got to do something. Okay, Blake says TTIs fit really nicely on the F bodies, so there you go. I do not know. Never been there, never done that. Old Iron says, wait, I thought Velaspins are M bodies. No, they're the F body. The FMJ are all like very similar. I can't even tell you like which is which. Like I think a Diplomat, is that an M body? I don't know. They're all rear wheel drive. They're all like kind of the same shoot and match. I assume slightly different wheelbases and configurations and stuff. I sold my red step-side truck, and the gentleman that bought it, super cool guy, sent over some pictures of his Aspen, and I noticed that it's a 78 or 9, don't remember. Anyway, I noticed the dash looks suspiciously similar to a K car. Anyway, I think there was a lot of weird stuff going on around that time. But Velaris and Aspens are F bodies. Bad Tree Productions also says Hooker Super Comp Fenderwell for that vintage style. Yep, that's the way I'd be going. I think someone asked me that. What kind of headers in this? You know, with a big block. Fenderwells. All about Fenderwells. Alex says post your PO box. I don't have one. I think I need to get one, so people can send me flaming bags of poop or envelopes full of anthrax or whatever. Alex also says, on the topic of beards, I hate going for a bite of food and getting more mustache than food. Yeah, it hasn't really see, there's a hair right there. It hasn't really been a problem until very recently. And especially on this side, there are some hairs that just keep getting like rolled in there. I think I was talking about that last week. It's getting very irritating. I have just trimmed the mustache before, but I don't know. My sister says, she informs me, this is news to me, beard removal is the 10K sub special. So, you know, I guess get on that one, guys. Tell your friends. That's funny stuff. Oh, yeah, Billy Gibbons would be bummed. You know, the clean-faced drummer's name was Beard. Didn't he just die? I think he just died recently. Or was it the other guy? I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, I think he'd understand. Tom says the beard's my identity and no one will know who I am anymore. Oh, hey, we're 23 minutes in, so I'll take this unique opportunity to say, hit the like button on the stream. It does stuff. And there are 35 of you out there in Streamland now, so if you haven't said anything, do that. Ask me a question. Tell us what you're up to this weekend. I'm not playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, only because I didn't have any ciders in the house, and I didn't feel like going and buying any. It's not like dry January or anything. But sometimes I like to go a few days just to remind myself that I'm not an alcoholic. Big Fits and Mopars is here, right on time as usual. How's it going? I heard you were having a party somewhere with cornets and blowers and that sort of thing. My roommate, the Banner Old, says Glitter Beard should be the 7,500 sub special, to which I say, Oh, Anthrax envelope just showed your age, Jamie. Okay, that's funny because I went through the coffee drive-through the other day, and I handed over my, punch card because you got to get your free coffee every 10 cups. Doesn't take me long. And the gal that works there, she's cool. She's funny. I started going there like mid-pandemic, and I don't know, she was just friendly and fun. Anyway, she's always having dance parties in there. She said, I'm going to repunch your card because a bunch of the little things are hanging off there. And I said, yeah, hanging chads are a big problem sometimes. And she didn't know what I was talking about because she's 24 and she didn't, consciously survive the Bush Gore election. Anyway, that was a good show my age moment too. Firefly asks, can I simply upgrade my cam and pistons to run aluminum Edelbrock RPM heads on a 318 engine with 4-barrel and headers? Yeah. You could also just throw the heads on there and party. I have to think about this. Yeah. Okay. So if I'm understanding your meaning correctly, what you're asking is, do you need to build a stroker like everyone else does, or can you get away with mostly stock? And the answer is yes. You do want to bump the compression up a bit. Of course, just putting on the closed chamber aluminum Edelbrock head helps with that some. It's more like once you've changed the head, you can then change the cam to take advantage of it, if that makes sense. It's all about the combination. You don't want to just go throwing random parts at it. But you could just bolt those heads onto your stock engine, and it will make a difference just doing that, right? But anyway, you're fine with the stock crank, stock rods. They will go far. They will go a lot farther than you might think. But a set of pistons, you can get the compression up a little bit, which is a good move. You're probably going to want to do an overbore anyway to get nice round cylinders if you're going to try and make some horsepower. So basically, yes. Easy build. Oh, Bigfoot's is hollering at Rooster. T's hollering at Bigfoot. It's this whole thing. My sister says Glitter Reared is next week. No, it's not. Mopar Pollock asks, have the Washington cops slowed down on giving out tickets? I was there 4 months and got 2 tickets near Olympia. Did you have California plates? Because it seems like they pick on those sorts of folks. I don't know. I haven't really had a problem. I shouldn't say this. I haven't gotten a ticket in a long time. I think the last ticket I got was for speeding into a detour in my wife's wagon when we owned it the first time. So that's how long ago that was. Probably 5 years. Yeah, I don't think I've gotten any lately. I definitely shouldn't say that because doing the rocket commute up to Olympia 3 days a week, I fly because it's a long drive. And, what are you going to do? So more tickets are probably in my future. Dan says, I heard you had that beard since you hit puberty. Not quite. I haven't shaved it in at least 9 years. But even when it started coming in, and it wasn't impressive or anything, I still shaved it off. I always had sideburns, like pretty much from about puberty, I think I had sideburns. They weren't super impressive either, but I had them. Anyway, and of course, there was a time I could only kind of grow a really pathetic mustache. So, yeah. But I have had the beard most of my adult life at this point. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious what I look like under here. I don't know if I have a double chin yet. I kind of don't want to know. But, anyway, we'll see. Who says we won't hit 7,500 by next week? Well, YouTube metrics say we won't hit 7,500 by next week. The last 2 months, not quite 3, but the last couple of months, I have picked up 1,000 subs a month. So that's pretty good. Things have kind of slowed down in the last couple weeks. I had those two videos doing really, really well. The 34 Plymouth and the toolbox video were both getting tons of views. And the e-body videos have done okay too. But those ones are kind of falling off now. And I just haven't had anything like super exciting this week. And the Corolla video bombed. The quarter midget video bombed, which really surprised me. It's cool. It's fun watching kids run around and crash on a racetrack. That's awesome. But it's not Mopar, so no one watched it. Anyway, so things have slowed down a little bit, and that's just the way it goes. You know, I'll put out another video soon that'll get a gazillion views, and then maybe we will hit 7,500 in a week. Smash! I'm about 6 minutes behind. That's pretty good for me. That's pretty good. Lovejoy says, hey, I actually remember to like the stream this week. Go Lovejoy. Yeah, the count is going up fast. In fact, hold on. Let's see. See what we got. Oh, just hit 6,100. Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. Oh, yeah. Brewster dropped a comment on my post. I don't always see those. I was going to say something. Hold on, it'll come to me. Yeah, channel's growing quite a bit. It's slowing down a little bit right now, but again, I'm very confident it'll start taking off again like crazy before we know it. So I don't think 10,000 is too far in our future, which is exciting. And speaking of which, what do people think of the graphics you've seen so far? I've got them up on all the social medias, and did I post it on? I don't remember. Anyway, that's our first design that's going to be on a shirt. I've seen it mocked up on a shirt. I haven't actually gotten one yet, but it's pretty cool, I think. It's just my Power Wagon, and it says Dead Dodge Garage on it, and it's pretty sweet. My friend Robert designed it, and I'm very pleased. We've got some other cool designs coming. The first one I had him working on, this has been in the pipeline for a while. It's one that says, it's not just good, it's good enough. And it's like a rusty A body, and it's pretty cool. I got some other good ideas. We're definitely going to slap that logo on everything we can, you know, hats, trucker hats, of course, stickers. We got a couple different versions coming. Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys like it. And hope you're ready to spend your hard-earned dough on stuff that says Dead Dodge Garage on it, because it's happening. But only because people kept bugging me about it. So let that be a lesson. That's the way to get stuff done around here. Old Iron says, I had your step side saved on Marketplace. I would have bought it if it was closer. Nice. Yeah. I had a lot of people that were interested. The guy that bought it, Wisconsin. I'm shipping it to Wisconsin. He said he got several quotes around $1,000, which really doesn't seem too bad. You know, for like most of the way across the country, $1,000, $1,200. Yeah, cool. He paid pretty close to my asking price. He paid me what I paid for the truck. So I'm sad to see it go. Awesome truck, great one to build, but I've just got, you know what I've got. I got too much. So I don't get sad when I see him go. I wanted a step-side truck for a long time. I wanted to do the Magnum with it. I'm just not getting to it, and it's not going to happen. And the other thing is that truck ran and drove fine. So, like, why tear it apart? On the other hand, the blue four-wheel drive W100, I did a video on a couple months back. Actually, that was in July. And Dave, time flies. That was in July. Anyway, I sold it like a month ago, and it blew up somehow. All of the fresh engine oil just disappeared into thin air, and I think the guy broke the crank in half. So I've got a video coming on that. I'm gonna pull the engine out and do like a post-mortem. What's the word? Autopsy on that, which will be kind of exciting. I think I want to see stuff broken. It's really sad because that was a sweet running engine. Anyway, the point is that truck is a greasy wheel. The engine's in pieces, so that's exciting. So let's rip it out and we'll put something in that. And so that may be my Magnum swap. It may not, but we'll see. I do have a perfectly good 40 over 318 ready to go in my back pocket. So I got options. Alex says my content is gold. Whew. Oh boy. Thank you, Alex. Much appreciated. Dan says, speaking of F-bodies, wanted to send you a note. Dan, you emailed me before, right? jamienoise@gmail.com. I think you did, because isn't that where you sent me the 273 stuff? Or maybe that was on the messenger. I don't know. Anyway, send me a note there. And again, I do have I have questions. Scott is here till I get boring, and then he'll leave. So I assume he left a bit ago. My sister agrees, but she's biased. Dave says he'd like to congratulate me for not purchasing the dusters for sale in my area. There are dusters for sale in my area? Hold on. Oh, yeah. There's like the ugly green gold one, and then there was another one too. What was it? Well, there's one in Seattle. I talked to that interesting gentleman at length, actually. Yeah, the one in Shelton for $2,000. Oh, and the one in town for $1,500. Let us not forget that. Did I tell you about that car? The young gentleman that has that one, the 76 for $1,500, is the guy that bought my brother's car and then crashed it through a ditch and into a mailbox. I did tell you that. Yeah, I told you that when you called the other day. It's good times. Good times. Surprise, surprise. My old 55 Plymouth still listed on there because Byron is really, really optimistic. Oh, have you seen this? Do you recognize that? Oh, no, come on. There it is. 68 Plymouth Valiant, the green weenie. That car was up for $1,800 in Tacoma, and then it kept going lower and lower and lower, and I very nearly just went and got it. But what am I going to do with it? So I just let it go, and it ended up selling for $1,200. This guy got it, did almost nothing, changed the oil, did another tune-up, which we'd already done not long ago, and then put it up for $4,800. And it hasn't sold, and now it's down to $25. Anyway, there are a lot of A-bodies. There's a lot of good stuff for sale right now, and it sucks. I just sold a truck. Now I have money. You shouldn't have reminded me about those dusters. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try and invest some of my newly found riches in the projects I already have. Of course, I've said that before. Kunaz1 says, found you a 65 CUDA factory V8 car. Looks pretty straight. Really? I already have one 66 CUDA, Barracuda, and I have a 67, and I have a Demon, and a Charger. If I'm going to get another one, it's going to be that 68 344 speed. I really want that one. I don't need any more project type cars. Having said that, I'm going to buy 18 more of them. But I think I'm good on early Barracudas. I think just the one is sufficient. I'm going to set it up like a drag racer, very similar to the Demon. But again, the point of that car is I'm putting it together. I'm building the package. So let's see what I can do. Bigfoots and Mopars. Met up with Rooster and Mopar Jeff. Excuse me. And yeah, thanks to Rooster who brought him a present. I have a Bowers Magnesium 671 blower housing. That's awesome. Cool. Oh, yeah, JMR had it. Yeah, Dusty Hill. It was Dusty Hill that passed away. Oh, rip in peace, Dusty. Lovejoy wants to know, what all do I need to rob from the donor truck? Engine harness, and ECU. I'm going to attempt to fit the factory fuel injection under the hood. Won't be a problem until I get a hood, but still, that's like me with the 67 Barracuda. I might have a hood this week. As soon as I get a hood, Wow, I'm 12 minutes behind all of a sudden. That happened fast. As soon as I get a hood, I will start working on that car again. I think that'll be big motivation if I could get the hood on there and kind of have the front end together. Also, I found a set of grills. Really cool guy. He's got hood inserts for me. The hood's a 68, so I need the right finned inserts. He's got a set of grills that he didn't want to sell, but he will. And he's got a Be Cool radiator that's damaged, but it's perfect for what I'm doing. I'm going to hook him up with the stock back seat out of my Barracuda, and he's going to hook me up with some of that stuff. I'm also going to hook him up with some cash. But yeah, it's funny. I can't go anywhere. I messaged him like, hey, I need these hood inserts. It would be awesome if we could meet in or around Olympia. I work at Rocket Restorations if you want to come there. And he said, oh, hey, Jamie, yep, I know who you are and I know where you're at. And yeah, super cool. So apparently he's seen my videos. Anyway, Firefly, awesome. Yep, cool. I did a video on putting together a small block Mopar recently. It was this summer. I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to soon. I want to do a video about putting the package together. Like, you know, this, part selection. Because that really is like, it's kind of the key to building a performance engine. I mean, lots of people go, lumpy cam, and shove it in a 383 with stock valve springs, stock small crappy port heads, and then wonder why it doesn't rev anymore, and it also doesn't do burnouts. Anyway, yeah, what you're saying is correct. Pistons for better compression. The rest of the bottom end in a 318 is fine. You're not going to break it. You know, if you make 400 horsepower, you're going to be good to go. If you stick boost to it, that's a different story. But yeah, there you go. Blake is out of here. Has kids to put to sleep and such. It's show and tell tomorrow, and he's only been reminded 800 times. Have a good night, Blake. We'll see you later. Thanks for dropping in. I'm also looking forward to more Orange Dart content. Oh, Tom and Evan, the bearded one. The one that looks like he could be my older brother is Evan. Yeah, I know they went by there. They ended up not bringing home a 62 Lancer, which was a little disappointing. But also, I had been led to believe it was a two-door hardtop GT, and it was not a two-door hardtop GT. It was a sedan. Alex, update on the step-side tranny problems. Put 4 quarts of transmission fluid in and got it moving again, but discovered a radiator hose leak after installing new aluminum radiator. So still down for winter. Oh, damn. Well, at least it moved. That's a step in the right direction. Stacy says the quarter midgets were cute as hell. I know! Yeah, they did have a great time. But, yeah, just, some grumpiness happened. The thing is, what I didn't show on video was standing in line for an hour. They had a handful of cars out there, but of course they were running them one at a time because these are kids. A lot of them have never driven anything, and, you know, they didn't want to start them off crashing into each other. So, you know, each kid would get like 10 laps, and then they'd be running them through. But there were a lot. It was a very popular event. So, yeah. Anyway, so by the time it got time to drive, my daughter especially was a little grumpy. But she did really well. So it was very fun for me. I'm very proud. It's okay if she wants to go quarter midget racing. I'm there. I'll be her crew chief. I'll paint her a car pink, whatever I got to do. And if she doesn't, cool. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really into making my kids do what I want them to do. You know, what I think they should do. I would love it if she got into cars. She has a passing interest in them. She enjoys our cars, but, you know, she's not a car dude, and that's fine. But if she wants to do racing, I'm there. My sister said 13 minutes ago that she was pretty impressed at how on top of Chad I am. No, not 27 minutes behind in a tickle fight. Not yet. Miles wants to know where the cold beverage is. I'm out. So it's just ice water today. Mike Miskey, who manages our local AutoZone, which is awesome. says, I tell everyone at AutoZone to watch and subscribe. Awesome. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. If I could afford to kick you a few bucks for free advertisement, I would. Someday soon, you know, that'll change. Our hill is here, late, but here. Greetings from the south. Hello. How you doing tonight? What you got going on? I'd buy that for $1. Dan says, I'd like you to email me your number, please. Well, okay. I'm not giving it out to everybody. I only have so much time in the day. But if you want to drop me an email, it's jamienoise@gmail.com. Stacy loves the design and can't wait to slap a sticker on the Mustang. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I got to make a note. Years ago, I think I mentioned this many live chats ago, we had an idea for stickers that were Merry Sketchmas. I got to make those. We also did one. We made Llama Thrust stickers. Those were really good. I have some pretty good ideas in the merch ideas list. You can't see it. It doesn't matter. Most of them are lines from my videos. If at least one person quotes a line that I say in a comment and like a laughing emoji or whatever, then I write it down. So one of them is when life gives you lemons, get a bigger crowbar. Kind of like that one. There's another one that I really like. I don't remember which video it was in, but I said, no one came back from the future to stop me. So it can't be that bad of an idea. And personally, I think all of these things belong on shirts. So that's what you can expect. There's also one, a person said, came for the electrical knowledge, stayed for the, and then he put in like parentheses, motions toward rust and body damage stuff. So I want to make a shirt that just says stuff, and it's like broken, rusty. Maybe it's on the quarter panel of like an A body that's been in the ocean, something like that. Stuff. Anyway. Glad you like it. Noah can't be with us here tonight because he's eating Sloppy Joes and watching a movie or something. So Noah, I see you. You pre-subscribed to my Shopify store. He's the only one that has hit that button to get notifications when the store goes live and there are products available. So thank you, Noah. You are appreciated. It's good stuff. My sister wants a shirt that says 3 out of 4 ain't bad. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to do 7 out of 8. Okay, what was 3 out of 4, though? 7 out of 8 implies a V8 engine, so 7 out of 8 ain't bad. Damn it. Yeah. My friend Robert's working on the website, the Shopify store. He did that design. He's done others. He's way into my shit right now. I'm hoping we can start talking about more design soon because I got all kinds of good ideas, and I love his artwork. So I'm pretty excited for that. But yeah, I wouldn't have any of the cool branding stuff or merch coming up without his help. So, hey, he dropped into the chat. If I wasn't 20 minutes behind, 15 minutes behind, I would know that. I should stop saying nice things. You're only supposed to say nice things behind your friend's back. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Oh, Bigfoot's my video guy forever. He did a short about my bowler hat already. Nice. Yeah, I hopped on his channel last week. I should probably do that. I don't think I subscribed. God, I'm part of the problem. Hey, I'm getting behind on comments. Yeah, I'm pretty far behind. So I was going to say there are 44 of you out there. If you haven't said anything, you should. We'll go for another hour. So I got time, but maybe give it a few minutes. If you haven't hit like on the stream, please do that. If you're just joining us, we're talking about engines and Bigfoots and artwork going on merchandise. Oh, apparently Colin and I constantly said 3 out of 4 ain't bad, but I'm trying to think of what that was in reference. I think the number changes. It depends on like it's situational, contextual, whatever. You know, if you're supposed to have 5 things and you only have 4, well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. But I don't know what specific thing you are referring to us referring to. No idea. Oh, Old Iron ducked out. Got school tomorrow. You have a good evening, Old Iron. We'll see you next week, I bet. Ah, see, Fitz is here. The designer, the man himself. Cleaned up and this isn't a real drink, but I still have to do it. Cleaned up and probably finished the Good Enough design last night, and I'm damn near done with the shop design, so we're close. Just got to actually throw this shit onto products. Oh, hell yeah. I'd like to know as soon as possible when I can hit the button on the first shirt. I got to have one in my hands. I'm excited. And again, thank you very much, because I could not handle this stuff by myself. And remind me to send you more money. I got to do that. I haven't? Yeah, YouTube money should have come in yesterday. So share and share alike. Billy from ZZ Top is into rods. Yes, he is. He's totally a traditional hot rodder type guy. And Dusty loved trucks. So my D100 is dedicated to Dusty Hill. Since he played the low notes, the truck is go low. Nice. That's awesome. The Barley Tea says, might you call it your magnum opus swap? I might not, but that's really good, actually. I've been teasing doing one on video for a year because people kept asking me. I did a few videos on... Oh, shit. I looked ahead in the comments. I did a few videos on Magnum engines, and it's what the people want. So naturally, I haven't done that yet. Shopcat Industries is here and says, good evening, all. Y'all. Shit. God damn it. If you're all playing the Dead Dodge Garage drinking game, I'm sorry. And let us know what you're drinking. Hot testers in your area are looking for you now. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm so far behind. Yes, that was Ben's car. That Valiant, the green weenie, as we called it. We had the 72 Satellite green sedan that was the green meanie. 318 powered, but it burned tires everywhere. That thing was awesome. And then we got the little Valiant, so that was the green weenie. It's for sale right now on Marketplace. They're down to $2,500, and I happen to know they paid less than that. So there's room for negotiation. My sister says she has a picture of Henry asleep and the green weenie flipping her off. That's awesome. Dust Devil Garage is here. Hey, howdy. How you doing? Duster guy. Scott says, got any tips on how to remove metal splinters from fingertips? Really can't. My hands actually look decent on camera. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the worst of it. No, not really. Usually they just stay in there forever, but you can go stabbing and digging with tweezers. Oh, June K says Gorilla Tape will pull out splinters if you can get it to stick. I might have tried regular duct tape many, many years ago. I usually just go for the tweezers at this point. Rocco Bukako is here and says, I finally got my Dead Dodge started. Well, that's awesome. Good for you. I've got several Dead Dodges around here that I need to get started on getting started. Lovejoy says, cold shower and a rag. Hot water makes your pores open up. Gets the splinters more stuck. Ugh. What, only 18 more? Gotta have at least 23 cars. Me? No. Or maybe you were saying I need to have at least 23. Now I'm trying to think how many I have. Not long ago, it was 23, but I skinnied the fleet down quite a bit. Dan wants to know, when are we going to be introduced to the missus? I don't know. She teased me with dropping in and helping to get through comments and moderate and stuff, which would be fun. But I don't know. She's sitting on the couch relaxing and watching a movie. Sometimes she'll jump into one. She did come in here on Christmas and just said like, hey, and then peaced out. That was the first one my sister sat in on as well. Lovejoy says, I'm glad you found a hood for yours. I have a lead on a dart stuck back in a shelter belt. I don't know what a shelter belt is. I'm going to rob the hood from. I have 3/4 of a dart front end already, so I might just swap that on. Yeah, sure. There you go. You've seen mine. I mean, it works. Yeah, Dan. Yeah. What she said. But yeah, she will eventually sit in on a live, I think. I don't know. I told her, come on, Uncle Tony has an Uncle Kathy. I need an Uncle Kathy. Oh, I looked ahead. That's really good. That's really good. Hold on. We'll get there. Lovejoy said, oh, sorry. Shit. I got off on some tangent and I didn't answer your question. What happened? What did I do? Where did I go? My apologies. I should do a video on what to harvest from a donor dodge. Yeah. Well, I got off to talking about Durangos. And anyway, okay. You need the engine. Grab the air cleaner stuff. It's not going to work, but just grab it. You might end up using the tubing. Maybe it'll be helpful. The air cleaner setup that works the best is the hat off of a Durango. Don't use the big Ram airbox. That won't work. I use the hat off a Durango and then a cold air pipe and a cone filter from the parts store. That worked fine. Okay. So you need engine. You need, obviously, all of the accessories. Everything's on the engine. You need all of that. You can leave the AC unless you're planning to try and have that someday. That sounds like a lot of work to me. So I wouldn't bother with the AC compressor. This accessory stuff is all the same between an AC and a non-AC. It's just a shorter belt. They made that super easy. It just comes down here instead of going up here. Everything else is the same. So it doesn't matter if it's an AC truck or not. You can just take the compressor off. Grab everything else on the engine. You need the complete engine harness. You need the ECM. Or PCM, as the case may be. You don't need the engine mounts, but you're going to pull them on the engine anyway. There's no reason not to. You can't use the radiator. It's too big. The hoses are worthless. You don't need any of that. Keep the fan. You'll probably use that. You pretty much have to, unless you go electric fans. That's up to you. Actually, radiator clearance in your early A with that big long fan might not work, now that I'm thinking about it. So you may need to do something creative there. You might have to go electric fans. There might be a shorter fan you can buy. I'm not totally sure on that one. It might fit. It might. It fit in my B body barely. And actually, when I first had the engine and transmission, it was tipped too far down, and I ruined a radiator with the bottom of that fan because it was so close. But yeah, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The best donors are Ram pickups because the wiring from the PCM and the engine plugs right into the fuse panel under the hood, and you undo the bolt through the middle of it and pop it out, and you're like done. Pull the PCM off the firewall. If it has transmission wiring, you will have to unhook that. But that's pretty much it. Those Ram trucks are just the best. Everything is all together. There's a group I'm in on Facebook. Most groups suck. This one's pretty good still because there aren't too many people in it. It's Magnum EFI swaps. Maybe it's the EFI Magnum swap group. Kerry Kinzer, I believe, is the main host, the guy that started it. He invited me to join way back when I first started making Magnum videos, and I did that. He is doing wiring kits. So you could just buy it from him. It connects into that Ram harness piece, and it has the relays and the fuses, everything you need right there. Super cool, super easy, reasonably priced. Saves you time. I don't know if he's mass producing them yet, but he does have them available. So you might want to look into that. I think it's the Magnum EFI swap group, or it's the other way around. But anyway, cool dude. Good resource for information there. So, yes, you're going to notch your bell housing on the 4-speed. You what I've done is measured the automatic. So you might want to do that while you're at the junkyard. Hold a tape up to those 2 bell housing bolts and just eyeball where the sensor is, and then make sure you get it deep enough. If you're really, really good, which I'm not, you could try and reuse the rubber plug that they use there. Honestly, not a big deal. Tons of trucks are missing them anyway. You're going to, I assume, do the trick that I did, or were you buying a flywheel somewhere? I don't remember now. You will need the flex plate. If you're going to do it the way I do it, you use the flex plate and then you turn down that back side of your flywheel so they fit together. But that's pretty much it as far as parts. Again, you're going to have to run a frame-mounted fuel pump unless you're going to science out putting one in the tank. That's up to you. And if you want to run a return fuel system, you're going to have to add a fuel line. You might just want to upgrade to a 3/8 fuel line anyway and keep your 5/16 for a return. And then, depending on which donor vehicle you used, you might need to convert from returnless lines to return lines, return fuel rails, that is. That's up to you. There are some details there you can work out. You can use an external regulator. You can try and use a regulator filter. Whatever. You probably have to run a frame-mounted pump, which really sucks. If they make an EFI tank for your car, buy it. So much better. It is just so much better. I cannot stress that enough. I've had nothing but problems with frame-mounted pumps. You're not stealing a dart, trying to track down the owner. Got it. My sister says racing is in our blood. Yeah, it kind of is. One of our uncles and then our cousin, I guess. They do go fast stuff. Alex says Prudence the safety goat shirts, which is what I saw a minute ago. To which I say, it's really quiet. I'll just go ahead and write that down now. Prudence shirts. And before you know it, we're just running an apparel company instead of a YouTube channel. That might have been a Colbert. No, the other guy. Last week tonight. John Oliver. That was a John Oliver joke. And before you know it, we're just running a hat company. I think I have a British accent, but that wasn't it. Everyone's on board. Mike Miskey still has a Whitewood Funk sticker somewhere. Yeah, unfortunately, the one on the wagon is slightly deteriorating, and I don't have another one. Yeah. Oh, Ben says, I feel like Henry shows promise as a race car driver, mostly because he introduced himself as race car between 2 and 4. Yeah, I think he was probably always destined to be a race car enthusiast based on, that alone, but also what he's been stewed in since birth. But yeah, he was doing really well. When I was watching the footage, I had a kid on my shoulders and I wasn't really paying attention to him driving. Of course, Ava was still kind of having a meltdown then. But yeah, I was watching the footage afterward when I was editing it, and he was taking the racing line. Like, it was cool. I think he could do it. That would be super cool. It would be amazing if we had a little quarter midget team. That would be cool. Also, junior dragsters exist. That's another one that would be really good. I could see Henry doing it. Henry, he had his race face on. So did Ava. She was serious about it, They weren't out there goofing around. They were competitive. They were ready to go. Blair Lindsay says, Lindsay, I'm sorry, I'm bad at names. Lindsay, I'm assuming. Lindsay. 70 Duster, 11-to-1 compression, 94 octane, 30 thou overbore, 344 speed, Holley strip dominator, 850 thermoquad, aluminum heads, 202s with beehives, 273 adjustable rockers, engine 5/8 headers, 390 gears, and J60 tires. Pick me a cam. All right. I need to go look at the cam card for my 340 because your build is almost exactly the same as mine. I've got Edelbrock heads, similar. I've got TTI headers, 410s. I would have put 273 rockers on it, but I used those on another engine and they're gone. Currently, it's got stock rockers back on it for technical reasons, stupid reasons, but I've got crane adjustable rockers. That's what was on it before. Mine's an air gap instead of a strip dominator, but that's okay. Little different. You've got the thermoquad, which is cool. I have strongly considered putting mine back on. I have an AVS2 and it does work pretty well. It originally had a thumper cam in it, and he said that didn't work very well, and it was over 500 lift. So now it has, is it an XE? It might be a Comp XE, but I can't remember which grind it is. I think it's 490. Is it 494 lift? And I just don't remember the specs. I think it's a Comp XE that's in mine, and it works really, really well. I need to get my fuel system sorted. Again, I took the car out for a street run the other night, and yet again, I had no accelerator pump for the first several minutes, but it kind of came back. It's a really happy package. It works great on the street. It's like all the torque right now. It does kind of give up a bit on top. I mean, he said he used to spin it to 6,500, but it doesn't really seem like it wants to go there to me. It seems like it's sort of giving up a little bit on top, but it works super, super well torque-wise. Now, when my stupid carburetor is fighting with me and I have that horrible bog, obviously it's not that great off the line. We've all seen that video, but it's a really happy, nice running engine. So I think it's a Comp XE. It's right under 500 lift. I cannot remember what the duration number is. It's a pretty good one. So something in that neighborhood. You don't need to go super ridiculous, but there is also a modern trend to go for more lift and less duration to get less chop and better RPMing. So I don't know. There are so many options. Call Comp or someone and have them tell them exactly what you just told me and ask them. And I bet they'll give you something in that same range. Yeah, the numbers changed for whatever we needed at a given time. 3 out of 4 bolts on that sludge-filled truck engine. I don't remember. It was the 383, but I don't remember what was missing a bolt. Yeah, Henry should be the one doing the racing. If Ava wants to get into it, awesome. I've heard girls tend to have better reaction times. It's just what I've heard. I think it would be super cool to see her racing. When she's tall enough to reach the clutch, I will put her in the Demon and we'll see what's what. We went to a car meet today. She wasn't feeling very well, but she decided, yeah, I'll go. So we took the Charger, and she was just kind of hanging out in the car. She got out for a minute, and then she got back in, got in the driver's seat, set up her camera on her tablet, and was filming herself in the Charger. And that's super cool. Dan says, oh, Evan reminds me of my former coworker. Don't like botching up names. I usually just forget the names. It takes a while. Dan says, got to take my medication, get a bite to eat. Be right back. Heck, you might be back by now. It's been so long. It's about 14 minutes ago. Thank you for slowing down on the comments. I do appreciate it. I see a few people left, but a few more people have jumped in here. 40 of you out there now. So if you haven't said anything, do that. Let us know what you're up to this weekend and what you're building. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I also take, let's not do song requests this week. Thankfully, Noah isn't here. But I also listen to suggestions for not only video ideas, but merch. What do you want to see on a t-shirt? A strong magnet. I don't know what that's in reference to. Lovejoy says, shelter belt is a thick row of trees that runs along a cornfield. Ah, okay. So like the tree row. Got it. Sort of like a mini woods. They got planted around here after the Dust Bowl to keep our topsoil from blowing to California. Wow. Okay. Shelter belt. Interesting. I didn't know that. I learned something today. People love to stick cars in them and forget about it. The tree row. Dust Devil Garage. Just got into your channel. Haven't watched everything you have out yet. Well, I have a lot of videos out over the last year. Where are you located? I am in Western Washington, specifically Washington State, on the west coast of the United States of America. Specifically, I am in Aberdeen, Washington, in the county of Grays Harbor. This town is known for being the place Kurt Cobain crawled out of. Of course, he said he hated it, yada, yada, yada. He's not a great role model. He did drugs. Anyway, Lovejoy answered right after that. Yes, I am in Aberdeen. I can almost smell the muddy banks of the Wishkah from here. In fact, sometimes the Wishkah River tries to be in my yard, and I can almost see the Kurt Cobain Memorial Park from my back deck. Stacy says they've got the same tree rows in Alberta as well. Most here are a single row of trees. Not too sure how effective they are. We get some brutal winds. That's not a problem around here because we have plenty of trees and moisture. Of course, during the Dust Bowl period, this place wasn't one. It was probably still miserable and gray. But yeah. We do have random rows of trees that were planted where the train tracks were when they ripped those out. I don't know why they did that. It's really annoying. Those train tracks ran along the harbor, actually, and if it weren't for those rows of trees they planted, you'd have an awesome waterfront view all through there. There aren't houses or anything, but it's a sweet drive, For years, I've wondered, why is there no, park out there? There's nothing. We've got a harbor. It's a beautiful view. Can't see it. Someone just put up a bunch of trees in the way. Yet again, another example of natural resources not being utilized correctly here. But that's a different story and probably a different YouTube channel altogether. Lovejoy sent a group join request on Facebook. Awesome. Hadn't decided on a solution for the flywheel. Well, if you haven't seen my video, I do have one. It's the magic trick that shouldn't work, how to make EFI work in front of 4-speed on the Magnum. Average Joe builds, listening to the Dart Idol and a live stream from me. Good stuff. That's awesome. So at Idols now, does that mean you did the 4-barrel swap? Smash that Chinesium brand new 2-barrel BBD knockoff with that sledgehammer. That's what I wanted to do. Anyway, super cool. Awesome. Woohoo! Oh, Average Joe Builds, by the way, he hopped into, I think, 2 live streams ago. If you guys don't know, he's the one that bought the Dart, the 72 Swinger. It was in the background of many of my videos here over the last year. I did a video on it called Cheap Thrills and Hot Garbage. That's the same car. I bought it back, and I wanted to do something with it because, man, V8 4-speed Swinger, awesome. It had the weird Plymouth nose on it instead of the Dodge nose. And I know he's planning to fix that too. But yeah, over on his channel, he already just went after the trunk rust, which is way worse than I thought it was. So that's all fixed. Now he's got the floor fixed. It's all in Dynamat. It's looking really good. And I'm jealous. I'm jealous. So anyway, if you want to see progress on that car, hop over to his channel, Average Joe Builds. Pretty cool. Also, I did mention, this is funny. I'm selling all my overflow projects that I can't get to other YouTubers. So the guy in Wisconsin that bought the Stepside is starting a channel called, I believe it is Stage Zero Garage, which is a term that Volvo people use. And it basically means the car gets to an operational state. That's stage 0, which I really like. At least I think it's stage 0. I hope I'm not messing that up. Anyway, he's just started that channel. He doesn't have anything up on it yet, but one of the first things he's going to do is Stepside stuff. So that's really exciting. If you're an up-and-coming YouTuber and you need a Mopar project, let me know. I'll hook you up eventually. Dan says the T5 swap guys make a 10.5-inch flywheel set up for Magnum applications. Okay, I didn't know that. Do you know what company that is? Might need to check that out. Looking your way, Lovejoy. Rooster, like I said, I gave my son the opportunity to race juniors. If he's stuck with it, great. If not, that's cool. It's all about introducing the kid to the sport. Exactly. I'm not going to force anything on her. If she wants to do it, I'm there. And if my nephew wants to go drag racing, I'm there. I will be either crew chief or second crew chief, assistant to the crew chief, which will be his fuzzy-headed dad. That would be pretty cool. Remember, basketball, football, golf use 1 ball. Racing requires 2. Not true. It requires cojones, yeah, but, they don't have to have things, is what I'm saying. Like I said, this, girls and reaction time, as I've been told. Maybe it's all heresy, But my friend Connor and his sister did drag racing in their teens. They did bracket racing. She got the trophies. Just saying. Fourth Down Clown says a shirt that reads, "It's fine," would be good. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I hadn't written that one down. But like, it's fine. Because usually I say it's fine. Everything is fine. So yeah, gotta decide there. I'll write down it's fine, but I feel like it's a little short. Yeah? It's fine. Don't mind that over there. It'll be fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I can't remember what I think that must be Peg who says you don't need to worry about. Yeah, that's it. In my friend group, we used to say that a lot. You don't need to worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that, that sort of thing. But Peg kind of already took that one and ran with it. You don't need to worry about the rust holes in the Ford. Ford addict. Complain about where someone plants trees. I just did. Okay, yeah. I think I knew that. Lovejoy's seen all my Magnum crap, and that's why I subscribed. And you still haven't got the Magnum swap wiring video out of me. Damn it. Yeah. Hook up with Kerry and get the right wiring harness that matches what he's got going on, which again I do think is the RAM setup, and you're going to have an easy time of it. He's very technical and very he's very into that stuff, and I've been seeing his posts. He was working it all out and putting that setup that he has together. Super cool. And I hope he does actually start selling them and make a few bucks because he's really wrapped his mind around it. I've done it. If you saw the wiring job on my charger, you know usually where I get them to. Okay, it works. We're good. And I've never done a nice sanitary, everything's in heat shrink and everything's weatherproof. I've never done that. I've made them work and then I've gone, it's fine. Let's move on to other stuff. So anyway, I think one of the things I said last week was I really need to redo the horrible, awful mess that's on my van. My van it is an OBD2 setup. It's a 96 computer. But it was an OBD1 van. So I just kind of meshed the two together and it's ugly. It's a ball of butt splices. I did it in 20 minutes just to get it on the road and it's still how it was. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Dust Devil Garage says, I am up there by Chris from Talking Mopars. Yeah, he's in Bellingham. Or Marysville? I don't remember. He's up there somewhere. He's almost in Canada. And Scott from Heavens Mopars. I don't know him. Don't know Scott. Yes, actually, Chris from Talking Mopars, that Roadrunner he's got, the 72 Tawny Gold Roadrunner, the guy that traded that to him for his truck offered me that for my Cobra replica. We're all sort of in the same area. And that guy's got some other super cool stuff too. Actually, he actually just passed away this last week. I saw Chris posted that, which is a real bummer. He was a cool guy, very friendly gentleman. He had a Daytona clone, I think. He had a couple early 70s Chargers. He had sort of softballed an offer to me for the same car. Amazing. I think it was blown. Big block Charger, 71 Charger. Super interesting guy, had a lot of nice stuff. And yeah, unfortunately, he just passed away, which is a bummer. But yeah, anyway, I almost owned that Roadrunner that Chris has. And I thought about it a lot. I really liked the idea. I already had the Demon. And it was companion car. Don't really need it. And I passed on that, ended up selling the Cobra for cash and buying my Charger. So it all worked out for me. But I almost owned it, and it is a neat car. Benrold says, petition to start a Grace Harbor ecotourism channel. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'm really into it. I like this place, and there's a lot of cool stuff to see. I have some big ideas, I might run for mayor someday. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, Grace Harbor Ecotourism Channel. Yeah, but you're going to have to contribute. And we're going to have to get more people on board because I can't take more. Stacy says, didn't realize you were that close to Kurt's Memorial Park. That's awesome. Just listening to the Unplugged album earlier. Still the best Unplugged MTV ever did. Totally agree. I've only heard bits from other ones, and I've never been as impressed. All right, Down in a Hole is pretty good. I think we can all agree on that. But Nirvana Unplugged, fantastic album. My sister got me into Nirvana when I was an angsty teen. And I was a huge fan for a long time, not because of where we live, just because I was a huge fan. I have listened to all of it. I've listened to every bootleg show, every B-side, all of it. And I'm over it at this point. I was a huge fan when I was a teenager. Mike McC is here, and he says, LOL, but I'm not sure what to. Rooster says if I'm selling projects, he'll take the wagon. Nope. Nice try, though. Alex says I'll buy any of the step sides that drive and stop. Well, the 79 did, and unfortunately, someone PayPal'd me $3,500 for it today, so it's gone, baby. But if I find more, I'll let you know. Oh, Alex says it should be, it's fine. That would make... Yeah, that could work. It's fine. Will they get the voice from reading it? I'm just not totally sure. Dan says good shirt for work. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm very hungry. 47 of you out there now. Hey, I've almost caught up to the comments. So if you have more comments and such, questions, suggestion boxes out, anything, go ahead and drop them there now because I caught up finally. Stacy's out of here. Off to watch The Curse of Oak Island. I don't know what that is, but have a good night, Stacy, and we'll see you next week. And in the comments, you have a good one. Enjoy. Lovejoy says, you keep teasing me with that video, and you never give it to me. I'll get there eventually. Mike says, we used to refer to the things Jamie says as Jamie-isms. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I say a lot of dumb shit. And I've been doing that since long before getting on YouTube. Someone in a comment on the 440 video, I get this. When videos start going out to wider audiences, fresh people start dropping in, that's when I start getting comments like, why do you talk like that? You sound weird. You shouldn't talk like that. What's wrong with you? You're a weirdo. Anyway, so today, I think this morning on the 440 video, someone commented and said, do you always talk like this? Yes, I do. Ask anyone that knows me. Yeah, Rooster, you are one of the people that said that. Yeah, I told you before, women have faster reaction time than men. It's one of the things men feared when Shirley Muldowney wanted to be licensed for Top Fuel. Only one man fought the battle for her. Yep. Oh, you told me well, it's been a few weeks. I can't remember. I'm so bad at names, and I'm so bad at drag racing history. I don't remember. You told me once. Didn't they get married? Yeah, don't remember. What up, Duck? Busy weekend. Just saying, hey. Yeah, speaking of busy weekend, you tried to call me yesterday, and then you texted me, and I was in the middle of a 5-hour video editing marathon trying to get that 440 video done. I was working on it for 3 months, and I finally had it all wrapped up, and I didn't really have any other videos ready to go, so I was like, this is it. Let's get it done. I have a few other that I've filmed, but I'm just kind of the point that I know they're not as good as what I have out there, and I don't even want to do that anymore. I only want to deliver stuff that I think is worth watching. So anyway, so I was editing together that 440 video, and it took me, I shit you not, 5 hours. So you called, and the weird thing was, I had my headset on, so it would have gone through the computer because it has crazy Apple magic. And then I tried to hit answer, but it like, then you hung up and it went to La La Land, and I was like, I got to get this done. So I got it done. I didn't even get it released until like 1:30 p.m. It was a crazy day. So, yeah, I didn't get around to calling you back, but I read your message and I was going to go, great, what'd you break now? And I guess I didn't even do that. Dan says, I'm back. Did you miss me? Yeah, I did. I was distraught. Couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was worried. So I'm glad you're here. Greg Loy is here with us again and says, love your channel. Awesome. I really appreciate it. Very much. Scott Hay is here and says, love that you're a musician and a mechanic. You're earthy and real, and I dig watching your Mopar work. Hello from New Zealand. Stay safe. Yes. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I try to be earthy and real. I do kind of talk funny sometimes, and that upsets people, but other than that, I think I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I was a musician long before I was a car guy or a mechanic. That's what introduced me to Car World. I was at a show and I heard a cammed up 440 and a 68 Charger, and that just ruined my life, basically. I'm here in my studio. I actually was recording more music today. I've got a room mic set up for some reason, although it sounds like crap and ended up not using it. I've been doing a little production for soundtrack for the channel. I've been using stuff from my album I haven't put out yet, which I think is kind of good. One person did ask me why I was using guitar riffs for video soundtrack stuff, and they wanted to know if my channel was edited by Geico, which is hilarious. But anyway, yeah, I've just been working on some stuff, getting some ideas down, and soundtrack stuff. Anyway. Dave had some dart issues, some sorted out. I think my brake booster is taking a shit. Hard pedal when cold. Yeah, I think we talked about that once. You said like when you first started it, the pedal was hard. I wonder what kind of vacuum you're pulling. I wonder if you have a vacuum leak. Don't know. Might be worth throwing a gauge on it. But yeah, very interesting. Dying booster wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, they do that. They do that a lot. Our wagon, yeah, it must have been that car. The brake booster was bad, and they put a brake booster on it, and it was bad. So when I got it, the brake booster was still bad, and the pedal was like, oh my God, rock solid. Not manual brakes, rock solid, like bad, like brick wall, car barely stops. And I had the same thing happen on a Dart later. So yeah, I did the brake booster delete on that. I used a manual brake firewall plate and just put the master right on the firewall, and it worked. But big heavy wagon, it wasn't great. So my friend Mike Miskey, when he bought the car, we put power disc brakes on it for him, and they are amazing. But it's one of those aftermarket style boosters and masters with the prop valve mounted to it. I'm a believer. I will probably be putting one of those on my Charger because it just works so well. Doesn't look right, but it works really, really well. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if your booster was bad. It's just what happens. Oh, I'm thinking about a different subject. See, I'm telling you, I don't know drag racers. You brought up another female driver. It was Big Daddy Don Garlitz that said, let her run. Well, good on him. I know his name. I know a few. I wish I knew more about drag racing history. It's just weird, like the trajectory that I've gone through getting to where I am, the things I've missed along the way. I love drag racing, but I don't know a ton about it. I don't know a ton of history. Obviously, I wasn't there. You know, I'm on the younger end of things, so I missed all of this. And there are no strips anywhere near to here. I mean, Bremerton's 2.5 hours away almost, so I haven't got to really immerse myself in it, but I want to really enjoy it. Wish we could do some drag racing around here. They did run on the little airport out in Elma for a while. Under the radar, arm drop, no timing. And that was fun. Till it got shut down by the county. Rooster says he went to NHRA and paved the path for women. Awesome. Very cool. We like that guy. Dwayne Medlin. Ever wonder how Dodge Chrysler got away with using such dainty hardware tying the drive shaft to the rear end? Yeah, well, kind of. Everyone does, really. Newer Ford uses those 12-point bolts, and they're like they might be M12, 12 millimeter M12 bolts. Not sure. Anyway, lots of manufacturers did. They use teeny tiny little fine thread bolts usually, and I can only assume they are grade 8, hardened good bolts. The bolts are holding the straps, securing the joint. It's the combination of the yoke doing most of the work and the straps holding it in there. So those bolts really aren't seeing that much strain. They really don't do as much as you might think. They're just like squeezing it together, and the other pieces hold. I think, I think that's the theory. Anyway, I don't think the bolts really do that much. And, good evidence of that fact is I've never had one broken, by force, by launching, by anything like that. I've broken joints a couple times, but I've never seen those bolts break. I've seen them break off from over torquing, or I've seen them rusted solid in there and break off from trying to remove them. And I've stripped plenty of them in my time, but they don't usually break. And again, really, everybody's like that. All of the manufacturers, at least at that time, they were small little bolts. So, yeah, science is how they got away with it. Engineering. Dave says, brake pedal softens up after a few minutes, but now it's taking longer and longer. Plus, idle goes slightly up when I apply brake pedal. Got a new one on the way. Yep, cool. Hopefully that fixes it. Hopefully that's it. The big block Mopars have their own exhaust note. Wonder why? I can't explain it, but I can hear the difference between a Mopar and a Chevy. And it doesn't really make any sense. And they got the same firing order. They're the same basic thing, V8, firing order, engine, they're very, very similar, but they sound different. I wonder why too. And I also wonder why V8s always kind of, even when they're running right, you can tell the V8, they have that ba, 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 ba sound to them. I don't know if it's the two cylinders next to each other firing. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. But yeah, the 440 I'm referring to also had 509 cam, long tube headers, flow masters. So it was the hot for teacher thing, the rumpity. And once you start putting a big gnarly cam in an engine, they're all kind of going to start to sound that way. Kind of. But yeah, Mopars have a sound for sure. And as I'm sure you can imagine, I love it. Honcho's house is so late, I'm early for next Sunday. That's awesome. Well, you made it, so at least we got that. Good stuff. Oh, okay. I didn't know you'd gone that far with it. Yeah, you put a Mighty Vac or whatever with a gauge on the booster, and it doesn't hold vacuum. Cool. Yeah. Well, you're at the right end of it then. Oh. I think I did this before because it's like. That's not it. That's it. Something. I don't remember. Anyway. I used to know the bass solo from. Nah, it's somewhere in there. Is that the intro from the Bell Tolls, I think? And that's the sum total of my Metallica. It would be great if you're able to add soundtrack to your uploads. I heard a Cam 440 once, ruined my life. Yeah, I have music in some of them. It just kind of depends on the level of production. Videos like the 34 Plymouth, I had a lot of different moving parts in that one. I started using time lapse, which I'd never used before. So I do it in places. I'm not going for that like polished TV thing. Like, okay, I'm sure you've seen Vice Grip Garage. Everyone here must have seen Vice Grip Garage. I watch a lot of it. Vice Grip Garage, yeah, there's music sometimes, usually for his driving scenes and things like that. But for the most part, there isn't. You watch his Motor Trend show, there's music going almost constantly. And that's not what I'm going for. I want to keep it pretty simple, but I do like, some seasoning, some music here or there. So you're not going to get like a constant soundtrack out of me. You're not going to get that type of production, but I like using it for transitions, driving scenes, silly crap. And now I've got time lapses in some videos where I'm actually working. Have you guys noticed that you actually see me work now? It's because I got a tripod. It was free. Yep. Anyway, and then my brother-in-law got me a little desktop one for Christmas too. So I've got two. So yeah, my production standards have gone up a little bit. And I have a music studio in my house. So might as well use it. I heard a Can 440 and it ruined my life. Could be a t-shirt. It could be oh, you gonna join me? Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh. My cat is here. He hasn't been doing very well lately. We kind of didn't think he was gonna make it, but we got him on some meds now and he's perked up quite a bit. So he's been with me through a lot of stuff, but he's never jumped on my lap for any of these lives before. The last like month or two, he's been not doing too hot, and he's just been getting worse and worse. And finally, we realized he's hardly even eating. So, yeah, I have dogs, cats, birds, a lizard, chickens. It's ridiculous. I heard a Cam 440 once and it ruined my life. Could probably be a shirt. A variation thereupon. Yeah. Anyway. I'm still planning to make a shirt that says old Mopars don't die, they just take naps. I think that'll be a good one. Old Mopars never die alone would work, but they just take naps is the sort of thing I would say. So I don't want to just churn out generic stuff that has no bearing on the channel. It's got to be, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, Alex headed out 7 minutes ago. Of course, I missed it. Have a good night, Alex, and we'll see you later. Dave got a booster that looks like original. Yeah, of course, your car, that's what you need to do. Other than the, suspension goodies underneath, it's a pretty, and headers. Headers, it looks pretty stock in there, is what I'm trying to say. That's what I would do if I were in your position. I say I'd put a modern style on the Charger, but I'm also strongly considering doing the engine compartment restoration on that. In fact, I almost kind of sort of just committed to it on a video I filmed tonight. So maybe I'll stick with stock, but we'll see. That aftermarket setup just works so well, and I like things that work. Dan says, I had a brake booster that had some rust on my 78 Power Wagon, vacuum leak through the firewall side. Is that the extended cab that's parked next to your Trail Duster? Ram Charger, whatever. So Tom sent me a picture of the Ram Charger, and that's cool. I like Ram Chargers. That's fine. I'm not a freak for them. I've had one, but it was a solid roof, non-removable top. But next to it, there's a club cab truck, and I said, is it weird that I'm more excited about that? What's up with that? And he said he'd take some pictures, but he didn't do it. Man. Oh, Tom listens to all of my live streams after the fact, by the way, when he doesn't make it here. So he definitely hears everything bad I say about him, which is nothing. Rooster says, well, kid, I'll teach you all about the good old days. If you send me your number or give me a call. And when I tell you about WD-40, you won't ever use that again. Rooster, I have fond memories of my dad using WD-40. I remember the smell. So it has a place in my universe. And as far as using it for pistons, I have done that. I told you this, I've said this, the way I learned to build engines was watching videos on YouTube. And the best one I found, the most like he just explained things the best, he showed things the best. He was building a Ford engine, but it just had all the details and it made sense to me and I understood what he was saying. And that's where I got my start building engines 12 years ago, I think. He used WD-40. So I used WD-40. And I've used it in every engine I've built since then. And I haven't had any scored cylinder walls. I've had one engine smoke, but that's unrelated. I haven't had any problems with it. It's worked for me. And the thing is, my understanding and my view on this is you need lubrication there, but you don't want a shit ton of oil because you can end up glazing cylinders. So I see people dunking them, and I don't think that's good. I don't think that's what you want. You need that metal-to-metal contact. You need the rings to cut into the cross-thatching. You need those parts to mate. So you want some lubrication, but not all of the lubrication. And so I've used WD-40. It works. It has worked for me. It's fish oil. It's magic. It's voodoo. It's not the kind of lubrication that you're looking for. I understand that. And I want you to know I did learn a lesson. And the other day I needed to put together 2 tight-fitting pieces. And instead of putting spray on it, I actually used grease. And it worked great. So I did learn a lesson. But as far as using it for pistons, I haven't had any problems. It's worked pretty well for me. So Dan says, I know of a half-mile oval and drag strip combined that's for sale over here in Spokane. Wow. Isn't it, is that Spokane I'm thinking of? No, I'm thinking of, God damn it. I went over the mountains to get a car. Yakima. I'm thinking of Yakima Raceway there that sold. And I'm pretty sure they just like either did or are demolishing it to put in more equipment sales or some crap right off the highway. Rooster, speaking of cams, did you put what cam is in the Coronet for me? What? The black Coronet? Was I supposed to do that? Because I don't know. I'm confused. Did we talk about this? I don't know. Denberg, I thought a local tribe was going to buy those tracks. No idea on that one. My sister, I just had a sudden memory of you compulsively calling out what car every passing set of headlights belonged to, sometimes down to the year. Yeah, where were we? What were we doing? Because I remember doing that. It's funny stuff. Scott says, hell no, keep it real and earthy. Yeah, of course. No polish production required. Hello, Cat. Hello. Easy. Yeah. That's the spot. Yeah, there you go. I usually throw him off at my lap because he gets pokey, but he's not been feeling well lately, so I feel really bad, and I'm gonna let him ride. And a screaming goat. You can't forget the screaming goat. Scott, yeah, no, we're not making. That's not where this is going. It's going to stay what it is. But I am learning better filming techniques, and I'm acquiring equipment. I have a nice computer I edit on now. I have tripods. I have a GoPro. My wife bought me. So I have different elements going in. I'm trying to make better videos. I'm trying to work on my editing techniques. I'm trying to work on getting the audio evened out a little bit. I want to try new stuff and make a nice product, but that's not where we're going. Definitely not. But again, I'm a musician, and so I'm going to find every way I can to sneak my music into this. Dwayne Medlin, hypothetically, if a Roadrunner was racing a Super Bee and the Coyote painted a tunnel in the mountain, would the Super Bee make it? Yeah, I think so. I think it would. Oh, okay. That truck's at Hoarder Stash site number 2. Roger. I'm just down to the one Hoarder Stash site, except I do still have my Crew Cab Dodge 73. It's kind of a partnership project with my friend Connor, which we haven't done anything with. It is out at his place in Matlock, the middle of nowhere, which is why I was asking. One of the other places you could have been looking for Mopar parts when you were in the neighborhood last week. But there aren't any F-bodies out there, so that definitely wasn't it. Anyway, so yeah, my crew cab Dodge is out there. That cab was bad 4 years ago. I haven't seen it, maybe 5 years ago. I haven't seen it in 3 or 4. Yeah. Anyway, mostly it's just my one hoarder stash here. But anyway, very good. My sister agrees. WD-40 is the most nostalgic scent. I swear I can almost hear our dad's voice when I smell it. Yes, I can see him polishing metal with it. So gives me the warm and fuzzy. Oh, Lovejoy's popping off. That was a few minutes ago. Y'all have fun now, you hear? You have a good one, Lovejoy. Good talking to you, and we'll see you next week, I imagine. And Dan says, and yes, there is a site number 3. The replacement 1992 cab was in front of Big Green. Roger. Yeah, you were supposed to get me the cam info for the Cornet Ragtop. Why don't I remember that? I can ask Evan. It's really, really mild. There's not, it doesn't like lap or burble at all. Lap? Jesus. I'm getting hungry. I'm losing my mind. Dan also says, I'll try to remember to do that, Rooster. I'll have to see if we still have the... Oh, we have the box. Yeah, we have the box it came in. Okay, I just need to look at the box. Because we put a cam in that engine. We didn't catch the push rod thing. We looked at the cam because the intake got swapped or something. I didn't even remember. Evan looked at the cam and went, oh, that's ugly. So we took it out. He got another comp cam and opened the box, and it looks exactly like the one he took out, which looks exactly like the one I just put in that 440. So, yeah. Not ideal. Anyway, but we swapped the cam anyway because we were already there, and I don't know, he thought it would be better. And the cam that came out is in the box of the cam that we put in, so I can get the numbers off that. I just have to remember to do that. I'll do my best. Dan says, I'm kicking around putting your second least favorite Mopar engine in Big Green ahead of an NP 455 4530. I don't know what that is. And now I have to figure out what my second least favorite Mopar engine is. Because the 47 is by far the bad one. Hemi? All the new ones are my least favorites. I don't think I have a least favorite vintage Chrysler engine. They're all good. You're not doing new Hemi stuff, are you? Dan says, for some reason they decided to add on to the casino next to them. My sister says, oh yeah, it's basically a constant monologue anytime I drive anywhere. Yeah, still is. And it evolved into us yelling, I fucking love doorknobs as an equal non sequitur, which comes from oh my God. Our mutual friend Felicia, who I don't even remember what it started with. Being a huge nerd about cars is what it was. Or huge nerd about music or about everything. Just going on in detail about something at length in detail. And basically someone decided that I probably also love doorknobs and have ass burgers. Anyway, yeah. Good times. I definitely did that to someone else recently, just as an example of how big a nerd I am. So, that's a Corolla and that's a that and that's a, yeah. Anyway. Mopar Pollock says, Cold War Motors does all their own music. That's a bonus for the viewer. Right. I'm hoping mine is a bonus for the viewer and not annoying. But it annoys someone somewhere, so that's fine. Rooster says, okay, huff it, but don't put it in an engine. Lube engine parts with lithium grease. That's interesting. God, I don't understand this. People keep people keep responding to I have had a revolving Mopar engines and transmissions ad on Facebook Marketplace for almost 2 years now, since we were fixing up our last house to sell to buy this one. And people keep hitting the "is this available" button. It's 10 engines and 6 transmissions. Which one are you asking if it's available? Just boggles the mind. It's maddening. Anyway, Rooster, that's interesting. Now, I say in that build video, as I will say in every other build video I ever do, like, this is how I do it. This is how I've seen it done. This is what has worked for me. That doesn't mean it's the way. And I said, everyone has a different way of doing this. Everyone has, there is no one way. There are many ways. It's important to be methodical. It's important to go through everything and have a method that works. But anyway, I haven't heard lithium grease. That's interesting. I wonder what the factory would have used. I've heard people use moly grease and then it like solidifies and does bad stuff. I've heard many. But I hadn't heard that one. So that's interesting. For pistons, anyway. I haven't heard that. I mean, I've heard of using lithium. I guess, yeah, lithium for bearings and such. But yeah, again, I don't know. I just use good old engine oil and then lube it before it runs, and we're good to go. Going back to that, Cold War is on my list of channels I need to watch. I should do that, knowing that they use their own music is another good one. I should do that. Scott Hay is checking out. I'm also going to check out pretty soon here. For one thing, I am starving, and it's just about dinner time. Living rurally in New Zealand. I have sheep to shepherd. Yeah, that's good stuff. Have a good one, Scott. Enjoy. So true. So sad. All the tracks going away. Yeah. Oh, Michael Adamo says, I hope your cat is okay. Yeah, me too. He's doing a lot better. He was hardly even walking. He basically, what we realized is he hadn't been eating as much and we hadn't been seeing him out as much. He was kind of hiding. And then he didn't eat anything for a night. And that we were concerned. So then we went looking for him and we were like, well, where is he? He was stuck in the back of one of my speaker cabs. I don't know if he crawled in there to die or if he was just hiding because, he didn't feel good. But anyway, I had to fish him out of there and he just wasn't doing good. He was super lethargic and it was a holiday the next day. That was it Martin Luther King Jr. Day? And so couldn't get him to the vet and we were force feeding him liquids and got him in there, got him some medication. They did x-rays. His liver is super inflamed and pushing stuff out of the way and blocking his intestines and stuff. So now he's on steroids. And also it might be an infection. It might be cancer. They just don't know. But they gave us steroids and, oh, you're back. Antibiotics. And it does seem to be helping. He is perked right up. He's got mischief back in his eyes. He's running around and yeah, hopefully he's doing okay. He's 12 years old and he's actually FIV positive, has been for 10 years, which can be a death sentence. I mean, they get a cold or something. It's just like HIV in humans. Once it develops, just a cold can knock him out. He's made it 10 years, still going strong. So that could be a factor in what's going on with him. So anyway, he's doing better. Hope he pulls through. Grumpy old shit. Yeah, Flea started it. My favorite shorthand for neurodivergency is I fucking love doorknobs. Okay, yeah, that was it. Yeah, Rooster, you wanted the info on the CUDA engine, and I don't know because, yeah, we didn't build it. It sure sounds good, though, doesn't it? The owner might know. That car has now been delivered back to him. So I think he's going to come in again this week. He's got to come pick up some of his leftover parts and things. So if I remember, I'll ask him if he knows the cam specs because I would like to know too. That is a great running engine. I mean, especially I didn't get to do video after I tuned it. Turns out it already had a Mopar performance distributor that has an adjustable advance curve in it. I'd never even seen those before. Now I've seen two. It's only been a week. But anyway, so it already had, about a 12-degree curve. So I just set the base timing in the mid-20s somewhere, and it worked. It pepped it up even more. Also, I set the four-corner idle on the Demon Carb. The idles were way off. It was super rich on the bottom. And so I got it pretty good. I didn't get to do a video on that. I just kind of did it real fast. I was doing 2 other projects that day, and it was just sort of a quick thing. But anyway, super sweet running 440. So yeah, I'd kind of like to know too. If I could replicate that, I would. Garrett Weston has a technical question. If I have check engine light for PO 141 and 138, would a tune take care of those codes? Hold on a second. It's been long enough that I don't remember what those are. 141. No. Okay, yeah. O2 codes. 141, 138. Sensor high voltage. No, my friend, you have a bad O2 sensor, and that code is Bank 1 sensor 2. Yeah, 138 is 1-2. So, and 141. No, is that also 1-2? Because 140 should be the front. Yeah. Your rear O2 sensor is bad. Yep. Just replace your rear oxygen sensor. It's bad. The heater circuit failed, and it's no longer reading, so you got a high circuit. Or is this a swap or something, and you don't even have that sensor? In that case, yes. On the Mopar Magnum, the swaps I've done, I just leave the rear sensor out, and it never throws those codes. I don't know how. It just doesn't. It's magic. Apparently Scott was helping out, or Dan was helping out a New Zealander with some 273 questions. 318 Magnum. That's a great username. They are just saving the post. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. No idea. Ben says, you're either let me tell you about this doorknob, or fuck, this doorknob turns real good. It's one or the other. Honcho's House says, ever look back at all the many, many cars and projects you've been through in life and think, damn, I could have made so many videos? Yes. People have been telling me for years that I should have a channel because I have the character for it and the knowledge, and yeah, you're fun. People would come into the shop. You guys are funny. You should have a YouTube channel, for years and years. And I just went, whatever. Anybody can do this. And I spend a lot of time thinking that, like, even just when I'm explaining things to people, I just go, oh, yeah, you understand. You could do this. Anybody could do this. Anybody could record music in their home studio and put it online. Anybody could pick up a phone and shoot a video. Anyone could crack a joke and make somebody laugh. Anybody could build an engine. Not really. I mean, a lot of people can. Hopefully I can help you get there. But anyway, so I spent a lot of time thinking, whatever, we're funny. And I know some stuff about cars, but do I really deserve my own YouTube channel? Am I really that egotistical to think people want to see me and hear me talk? So I didn't do it for a long, long time. Now, I have video clips going back years. We used to put, little videos on Facebook. We'd be doing engine installs and that sort of stuff, but it was a different thing. It wasn't a channel. It wasn't a this. But yeah, there have been so many projects I've gone through, and yes, I wish. My first 360 install on a Slant 6 car, when I cut down the K-frame and drilled the thing and put the Schumacher mounts in, and found the right transmission and made all the linkage work. And I wish I'd videoed that. I wish I'd done a lot of things. When I started that very same car 10 years later, when I started converting it to a drag car and cutting things out, I was taking pictures and stuff, Why didn't I start the channel then? That was right before the channel, like just a few months before was when I was doing that project. I should have done that. I was like replicating Plan Z kind of, but with V8 power. Why didn't I start the channel then? So yeah, my first engine build way back when, I made mistakes. It would have been, this is part of Check Everything. The guy told me this is the engine block and these are the pistons for it. Oh, okay, cool. So I'll just use these pistons. They were stock bore pistons in a 30 over block. It works, but it makes noise. I learned a lesson. I wish I had documented that. because other people could have learned from it. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There are many things that I have done. And I've only been in Mopar World. I haven't been in Mopar World building engines for 48 years. I've only been doing Mopar stuff for going on 16 years now. But I've had a lot of cars and I've done a lot of stupid stuff. So yeah, totally. All the time. But that's okay. We keep moving forward. There's plenty of stuff here right now to keep this channel going forever. Plus Rocket. Plus I'm a hoarder and I keep collecting more. So Michael, if you're asking how old I am, I'm 32. Yeah, but anyway, going back to Rooster's comment there, I've built motors for 48 years. Nice. I built my first one. Yeah, early 2010s. 2010 is this 2012? 2013? 2012 or 13. Somewhere in that time. I built a 360 twice. Built it twice. The second time I put the aluminum heads on it, and it was awesome. Maybe they were, sorry, that was wrong. They were 20 over pistons in a 40 over block. That's what it was. And then I ended up getting a blown up 40 over engine with aluminum heads in that CUDA out there. And I put the 40 over pistons, didn't even balance it, 40 over pistons. The crank in that was bad, so I used my crank and the aluminum heads and a cam from my collection. And it was fantastic. But by sheer luck alone, I tell you, because I did not know what I was doing then. Had no idea. But that's how we learn. Unless, like Rooster, you get taught in school and then you listen to the big time drag racers and builders and they know their stuff. Jake said one day, what did you learn in school? Yeah, you learned more than I did. Okay, forget all that. I'll just go to Rooster's last comment. It's almost time to go, guys. I'm starving to death, so I'll get through these last comments. Rooster says it's time to go. Remember, never talk about people behind their back. Talk about them in front of their back. Well, I operate on the rule we had in the shop, and I don't know. It's a guy thing. You talk shit to your buddy's face, and you talk good about them behind their back. That's how we do. Garrett replaced them with Mopar sensors, and it didn't help. You might have asked me about this a while back in comments on a video, didn't you? I think you did. Thanks for your help in chasing this down on my Dakota RT. Installing cutouts. Nice. That's cool. I'm getting hip to those Dakota RTs. They are coming on. Dave Duck's got one. Just today, Tom sent me a link to a really nice one and said, I really should have bought one or two of these back when they cost half as much. My friend Mike with that crazy turbo neon also has a Dakota RT. And yeah, they're cool. They're cool. I don't think I'll ever have one at this point. That 4.7 Dakota was similar to what those RTs do. Just burning tires and fun all the time. So I totally get it. And one with a 5.9 instead of the stupid 4.7. Yeah, awesome. Or a Hemi. Super fun truck. Nice driving and fun. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, yes. Okay, a tune would solve your problem. I don't know why you're even getting those codes. Maybe because it's a newer one. The ones I've done, I just leave the rear sensors out and I've never had codes. So I don't know why. I just have gotten lucky. Maybe those early OBD2 ones are more of an idea than an actual OBD2 spec. But you should be able to get those tuned out. Yeah, if you find someone that can deal with those PCMs. You should be able to just delete that out of the computer, yes. Now, technically it's illegal, and I'm sure you know that. A lot of what you're doing probably is, so, that's fine. That's hot rodding, baby. T's Good Times Garage had the same regrets about procrastinating starting my own channel. The content might have sucked, but I could have been tubing for years. That said, no sense living in regret. Yeah, well, part of why I feel good about working at Rocket now, but I didn't feel good about my friend trying to get me a job there 10 years ago is like, I'm not worthy. I don't know this stuff. I love these cars, but I'm not there. And at least now I've lived it and I've done it to the point that I do have a perspective. I do not know everything. I know a lot. I know quite a bit. I know a little about a lot of stuff. I know a lot about a few things. And I think I'm fun and clever, but, whatever. And on that terrible disappointment, it's definitely time to go eat dinner because Mrs. Jamie says it's ready. So on all that, have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. I've seen him much worse than your channel, so keep up the good works. Oh, my cat, he's 12. Yeah, I mentioned that, I think, after you asked. He's 12. Rooster, I'll send you my number. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care. Thanks for being here.